Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Robot Paradise, the RP-01B Cassetticons. This is actually a Fans Toys release here. This is the other cassettes that go along with their Soundwave or the Acoustic Wave. So I did get this at Show Z. You can get yours there too. I'll have a link down below. But I'm going to tell you my thoughts on these, whether it's good or it's bad, and whether I like it better than Takara or MMC better, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about all this and more coming up. Alright, so here is the packaging. As you can see, we've got all three of them on here. Canvas, Finib, Shadow. Anyway, here's the front, side, real thin box. Kind of cool. Shows you both modes. It works. Alright, so here they are out of the package, and they do look good. First thing, I felt all three of them having die casts in them. They felt kind of heavy. Heavier than you expect from cassettes, so pretty nice there. So here is the Laserbeak, looking pretty good. Both sides of it. You can kind of see all this stored over here, but it's fine. It looks good. It's cassette. Now, I think the G1 cassettes will more or less have the best look to them, but this looks almost exactly like the G1 cassette design, and transforms almost exactly like the G1 cassette. So kind of cool. There's the back of that. Oh, that's more of the cassette side. And then over here, now the Ravage. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So there it is. So looking pretty good. Now all these accessories here go for bot mode, so we're really not going to look at them at all right now, and so we'll wait till we get into the bot modes. And then looking at this, they all have their little cases that you can put them in if you want to. I don't know, I fear for scratching paint on these for anything I do, but there it is. So kind of cool, kind of reminiscent. A lot of good touches to this. I mean, this is a pretty expensive set, so there we go. Oh, there we go. Alright, so kind of how they compare to a G1 cassette. They feel just a little bit bigger, in my opinion, than a G1 cassette. So that's, I mean, they're real close. Real close. I mean, they may even be a little smaller, but just really, really close to a G1 size of a cassette. And so with that, that's pretty cool. Now, they do fit in Soundwave's chest. Shall I say the acoustic wave, so you pop it in there and slide it in. And I don't think I can really mess up anything on this one. No paint rub. It's just tight. These are just really, really tight in here. So, but yeah, fits in his chest. I'm not closing it. So let's get these out of the way, and let's just look at one at a time here. So with this, we are going to transform the Laserbeak and fold these wings down, and then we get to proceeding to fold this piece here up, and then we're going to fold this over, and then we've got kind of a whole over and under type deal going on, where now the gun's on the outside, and get it in place. It just seems like it needs to come over just a little bit more. There it goes. Alright, so next on this side, we're going to do the same thing, and it's kind of cool how it all tucks in to the back, so when you start moving it, it all comes out and you kind of see what it is. So fold this over, same thing over here, and then get it all into place. Alright, now with the wings, we're going to pull them out this direction, we're going to rotate them, and then we're going to get them into kind of whatever position you want them in. The feet are going to slide around and fold up to perch upward, and then fold out his beak, bring that up, and we more or less have him. Getting these things here straight for me is a bit of a challenge, so maybe I'm just doing something wrong with that, but all in all, there he is. He looks pretty good. Let's get on to the next transformation. So here we go with Ravage. We're going to fold his head out, and then we're going to fold these legs. We should be able to fold them down. Let's just go ahead and get them out of the way for now. It's double folds up. We got this double joint right here, And it is kind of tight. Get it up there. And then you want to clip this piece here in to place to hold it together. And fold his leg out. Now it's kind of cool because what it does is it kind of widens the stance. So the fact that they have the transformation like this, it widens the stance, which is really cool. That double joint right there just is a bit challenging. All right, there we go. Bring it down. And then we're going to pull the leg, the rear legs out, and that's how you widen. So 2 different ways to widen his stance to take him from a flat cassette into 3D world, which is really kind of cool. Fans Toys thought of all this. So I kind of like it. I actually kind of like this Ravage, the way it goes. And then fold out his little engine, so all in one, built in. And then fold this flap out for his little missiles. It's his missiles. His side missiles. They don't shoot though. They're decorative. Decorative missiles. Just like fold this out on this pin. That was giving me just a bit of trouble. It's just super tight. I've learned with Fans Toys not to push things too far. You might break it. And then we bring the tail out here. So we've got the tail, and we can get them into a stance and all of this good stuff. So yeah, looking pretty good. Just got to get these tabs on the top in place to hold everything together just a little bit better. There it goes. And Ravage. Alright, something's telling me we've done this one before, but we're going to do it again. So this is that whole mechanism where you kind of have to rock it out, and it's a bit of a pain. I remember this from the last one. Let's get the little party started there, but there it goes. Same thing on the other side, so it's almost like you want to push it forward to get it to start rocking. Come on. There we go. So just real careful. A lot of things to be concerned about because this feels very delicate in this area. Pull this down, and a lot of paint in this area. So just a lot to be concerned about. All right, now we're gonna pull the arms out. And this is really just a classic G1 transformation, except you add in a couple of other minor steps like popping these hands out here. And then same thing over here. Pop that hand out. And the head. And I form the head. Flip her around. Yes, you just leave a hole there, and you leave holes in the hands. And there he is. He's done. So we're going to get into putting his stuff on him real quick. Get that knocked out of the way. Here goes this. Lots of fun. And then here goes this. Lots of fun. And there's Rumble. And there's no argument, because it's definitely not Frenzy. Alright, there he is. Oh, feet. I guess he needs to stand. Get his feet out. Fold out the heel spurs so he can stand. Still a lot like the vintage one. Almost exactly. There he goes. Take a look at these guys. Okay, we're going to just start by taking a quick look at this guy here. Look at all the shiny reflective paint. Just beautiful paint job. Like, just amazing. Just amazing. That is where Fans Toys truly shines and wins. I like New Age. And so with that, paint everywhere, looking good. Down here on the lower areas. On the back, you do have this giant gap in the back here, which is kind of interesting. Like, do the weapons store in there? Am I missing that? Because it's such a big gap. Looks like the weapons could store in there in cassette mode. I haven't tried it yet, but kind of strange. Anyway, he does look amazing. Just very nice look to him. Very classic, very retro, and at the same time, a bit of a modern appeal because of all the paint and stuff. So real quick, we're going to take a look at that head sculpt. It's fine. He's got 2 more we'll look at in a second. Head goes side to side. You can look up, definitely, and he would definitely want to look up because he is short, and then his arm goes out to the side, and of course the shoulder joint here moves out and all that kind of stuff, so you can get quite a bit with it. And you do have his at least a 90 on his, goes a little past it, so it's sort of double jointed in a way. Anyway, then you have his hands, which do nothing. They're just little hands. And then his waist articulation is, I don't think he rotates. No, I don't think he does. So that's a joint that he's lacking, I believe, which not too big of a deal. Goes all the way out to the side there, forward and back, really tight. And I'm really concerned because they get real loose if you start moving around too much. Right here, it's just one of those, the smaller ones, it just is an issue. You do have a lot going on with this knee, and I think it's double jointed, so you can get everything you want out of that knee, but it is a very delicate piece right there, it feels like. Mine's still pretty tight, so I mean, I'm not going to move it too much so it stays tight. And then let's get his knee back in there. And his foot, you've got a little bit of articulation in the foot there, so not too bad. Let's take a quick look at these 2 other head sculpts. And here are his head sculpts, all 3 of them. Kind of a smiling, laughing, kind of a sneer, kind of serious. I'm gonna leave sneerious on it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it. Okay, so this is actually Rumble. He needs his pile drivers, so let's go ahead and do that with him. Fold his hand in, fold his arm out, wiggle the shoulder out, flip this around, connect the pile driver. You might want to extend the pile driver by pressing right here and then connect it. Now the holes go to the back, laces out, holes to the back. That's how you live life, right? So there he is, and let's get him in a stance. Who called me a nerd? Now I'm the coolest one ever. Next up, we're going to take a quick look at Laserbeak, and he does have quite a bit of articulation going on with him, so his wings can just flap all the way down, all the way as far up as you kind of want, so you can do a lot of different poses. And I believe you can pop his, let me see if I get that up. Yeah, his little video camera pops up right there. You know, that's definitely an 80s video camera. That is not modern. That does not, it's not save MP. Doesn't save MP4 format or AVI or any of that kind of stuff. Has nice shiny metallic here, but it's kind of tune looking right here. So this one actually kind of goes with a tune look to it. So that's kind of interesting how it goes. And so with all of that, he does have another feature here, which I do kind of like. I want to put, I like how they kept with built-in weapons. You don't have to clip them on like you do with the Rumble and the Frenzy. I do want to point out that you can you can perch him on Soundwave if that's a thing you want to do with this hole in this tab. So it's quite a tight fit, which is a good thing. So that means he's just not going to fall off. He's not going anywhere. So tight fit right there. Looks kind of good. I don't know if you want to have him like that or, you know, good birdie. Disconnect it and then have him on here like so. Same situation. I advise that you press down on the actual foot and not on the entire figure, because that might be really bad. But okay, so I'm having a little more trouble with that than I should. It's really a simple task. I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much. But anyway, there he goes. A couple of perch options. So next up, let's get it focused here. We've got Ravage, which is really kind of cool, and I like it. A lot of people have their negatives about it. They don't like it. I like it. I mean, I still think the MMC one's better, but for the size of this guy, I mean, the scale for what they're accomplishing, it's different than what MMC's going for. So there's got a big gap in the back, which maybe they could have had a filler. Someone's probably going to make a filler for it or something, but I still think it looks pretty good. You take a cassette and make it into 3D like we've always wanted, and that's outstanding. And the way they did it was something different that I haven't seen before, exactly like this. So with this, you have some back hip articulation going on. And it's like if I move one, the other one moves. I don't know how that's going on. But anyway, then so you can position that. You do have articulation here and here. So you can kind of get one leg forward and one leg back kind of in a stance like so. Exactly what you'd see in the show. And then the missiles are backmetalized chrome there. It looks very nice. With the front here, you don't really get like more in and out. You just get the articulation like this, which is pretty much all you would really need. So you can definitely get a walking pose, and his mouth opens and closes. So of course with 4 legs you're going to have to take a little bit of time to get it all positioned right, but he definitely looks like he's walking like a real jaguar, cat, whatever. And he's got a little bit of paint on the eyes, a little bit of paint here and there, not a whole lot, but look, I think he looks fantastic. But I still like the MMC size, scale, how they did theirs just a little bit better. So getting into comparisons now, this is the Rumble and Frenzy with Jaguar and Laserbeak with good old daddy Soundwave, all the Robot Paradise together. And also it's kind of funny that Fans Toys actually put Robot Paradise on the tape that seals this off, so I thought that was kind of strange too. But they look really good as a team, as a set, very cohesive, works very well. So now let's get into comparing these little guys to other little guys that have come before. Okay, so starting out with Rumble and Frenzy, both of them together, compared to the original G1, which I don't have his guns on there. I think I got like 6 sets, and I don't forget to put them on there. This one is the Takara version of the Masterpiece, which is a bit smaller, and I keep forgetting to pull this up, or I pull it up, it doesn't lock in as well. It just doesn't want to lock in like that one does. Okay, there it goes. Guess you just got to pull it harder. Okay, and then this one over here is MMC. So I want to say that I like the MMC size scale better, but the paint on this pops so well. Just when you move this guy, yeah, you get a little bit of paint, a little bit of reflection, and then you move this guy, and you're like, you know, well, I guess you're not seeing it. But anyway, it looks so much better with the paint, aesthetic, all that stuff. So I think most people feel like there should still be like another size in between there, and that would be perfect. But I'm still, you know, going to keep up with MMC. But I love having these, and of course I love having all the different versions of cassettes. The Fans Toys version in the middle compared to these other options, and I'll zoom in, but okay, so this is G1, and as you can see, it's got a lot of similarities to the G1. Now this is not Laserbeak, but this is the Buzzsaw, but still, it's kind of, you get the aesthetic. And then you get over to this one here, and this one is MMC, and how much bigger it is, and then we'll compare it to the Masterpiece one, but that is so much bigger. That's why I kind of don't keep the MMC one in here. So yeah, this guy is just way too big. So bringing in the Takara version. Now the thing about Takara's is that it looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it looks okay, and it works, but just to each his own. It's just a different option. And they're both about the same size, about the same scale. They both do almost exactly the same thing. So for it, I think it's about the same. But this has a little bit better paint job. So I think I might like this one better. I don't know where my Laserbeak is, sadly. Alright, so getting all these into this shot here, it's a little bit of a challenge. But this one here is the G1 compared to Fans Toys. And so that looks... So compared to the G1 here, this is pretty much what I wanted as a kid that Fans Toys is giving us. And so with that, it looks so much better in my opinion than the G1. But the G1 was kind of fun. It was kind of interesting that they made it, but it was like two-dimensional. It was like a 2D toy, and it didn't have built-in missiles and all that kind of stuff. No. Now with the Masterpiece, Takara gave us built-in missiles, but it did feel kind of weird, kind of skinny and cheap. And so, like, people that are knocking this and saying how bad Fans Toys did, I mean, it's still way better than what we got with Takara. So, I mean, I've heard a lot of people knocking it because he's got a little gap in the back and a few things. But overall, I think it's really good, actually. I mean, it's great. But it doesn't really beat MMC. Now, MMC has a bigger figure, and making bigger figures, I think, is a little bit easier to get it all done right or better because you have a bigger canvas to work with. But overall, I mean, decide for yourself. I still think this is the best, and I'm still in on the MMC stuff because, well, you know, aside from the birds, because these birds are just gigantic, but still. Let's look at some more Ravage. Okay, so we've got more Ravages in here, and so this one here was actually part of, I think, the Thrilling 30 line, probably 2012, 11, that time, right? It I think, turns into a disc, and it auto-transforms. Like, you push a button and pop, and then you have to move a couple things. This one here was an 07 that was included with Hound as an accessory, and it's kind of the first actual take on a modern engineering for a Ravage. So for that one that I know of, a modern engineering on a Ravage that turns into a cassette. And so I thought that was really cool, and I went after that one pretty hard. And then we have this oversized KO, which takes everything from the original G1 and makes it weaker, but yet more shiny stuff on it. So there's less joints, and it's much bigger. But yeah, it's its own thing. And then we've got the Dark of the Moon one here, which is Ravage. Doesn't turn into, I don't even think it turns into anything. If it does, I don't know. But I like it. It's kind of cool. I mean, it looks like a Ravage in a Ravage. It's one of the few movie figures that still looks like sort of the source material in a way. It's just kind of a spiced up version. So this has been my look at the Robot Paradise RP-01B Cassetticons, and I think they're pretty good. Overall, I do like them. I like a lot of things better than Takara, and some things I think Takara still did a little bit better. Not much, but I really am still in on all the MMCs, but then again, their MMC birds are too big, so it's kind of one of these that I'm going to have to piece together my perfect display with one here and one there. But these have phenomenal paint. They look amazing. The transformations make sense, and just the way they look 3D, they really do look like Rumble and Frenzy and Laserbeak and Ravage are all coming to life into 3D in the size that actually fits into a micro cassette into the chest. So anyway, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll have a link where you can get this from Show Z, because I did get this at Show Z. Titanium Hanger out.